History of modern India. Emergence of Indian nationalism 1857–1919. First question. Consider the following freedom fighters. Who of the above were actively associated with the Ghadar party? Ghadar party. So three only. Rush Bihari Bose. Rash Bihari Bose was actively associated with the Ghadar party. Not Brindara, not Barindra Kumar Bose, not Jogesh Chandra Chatterjee. Next question. Which one of the following is not a political method of the moderate in a national movement? Which one of the following is not a political method of moderate in a national movement? Example, uh, uh, overthrow of aligned rule. Right option, overthrow of aligned rule. Which one of the following is not a political method of a moderates in a national movement? Overthrow of aligned rule, not constitutional agitation, not slow orderly political progress, not mobilization of public opinion. No, this is wrong. Which one of the following is not a political method of a moderates in the national movement? Overthrow of aligned rule. Not overthrow of aligned rule. This is right option, constitutional agitation, slow orderly political progress or mobilization of public opinion. These are right options, right political method of a moderates in a national movement. Next question, with a reference to Swadeshi movement, consider the following statements. It contributed to the revival of the indigenous artisan crafts and industries. Second option, the National Council of Education was established as a part of Swadeshi movement. Which of the statements given above is correct? So 1 and 2 are correct. It contributed to the revival of the indigenous artisan crafts and industries. Second, the National Council of Education was established as a part of Swadeshi movement. Both 1 and 2 right option. Consider the following dates. Radha Kanta Dev, first president of the British India Association. Consider the following dates. Radha Kanta Dev, first president of the British Indian Associated. And second right option, Surendranath Banerjee, founder of the Indian Association. Surendranath Banerjee, founder of the Indian Association. Surendranath Banerjee, founder of the Indian Association. And wrong option, Gajalu Lakshmi Narasu Chetty, founder of the Madras Mahajana Sabha. This is wrong option. So 2, 1 and 3 only right option. What was the main reason for split in the Indian National Congress at Surat 1907? What was the main reason for the split in the National Congress at Surat in 1907? Extremist lack of faith in the capacity of moderates to negotiate with the British government. What was the main reason for a split in the Indian National Congress at Surat in 1907? Extremist lack of faith in the capacity of moderates to negotiate with the British government. Wrong options are introduction of communalism into Indian politics by Lord Minto, foundation of Muslim League, or Aurobindo Ghosh's inability to be elected as a president of Indian National Congress. These are wrong options. Right option, extremists' lack of faith in the capacity of moderates to negotiate with the British government. Now next question. The Swadeshi and boycott were adopted as methods of struggle for the first time during the agitation against the partition of Bengal. The Swadeshi and boycott were adopted as methods of struggle for the first time during the agitation against the partition of Bengal. Not Home Rule movement, not non-cooperation movement, not visit of Simon Commission to India. Who of the following were economic critics या critics of the colonialism in India? Who of the following were economic critics or critics of the colonialism in India? So Dadabhai Naroji, G. Subramaniam Iyer, R. C. Dutt. These are code given, code, correct code. Dadabhai Naroji and then G. Subramaniam Iyer and then R. C. Dutt. Which one of the following movement has contributed to a split in the Indian National Congress resulting in the emergence of moderates, and extremists. Which one of the following movements has contributed to split in the Indian National Congress, resulting in the emergence of moderates and extremists? Extremists. So, Swadeshi movement, not Quit India movement, not non-cooperation movement, not civil disobedience movement. Consider the following statements. Which one of the statements given above is are correct? The first woman president of the Indian National Congress was Sarojini Naidu. The first woman president of the Indian National Congress was Sarojini Naidu, and the first Muslim president of the first Muslim president of Indian National Congress was Badruddin Tayyibji. Badruddin Tayyibji. So two is only right. The first Muslim president of Indian National Congress was Badruddin Tayyibji, not the first woman president of Indian National Congress was Sarojini Naidu. This is wrong option. The first Muslim president of Indian National Congress was Badruddin Tayyibji. The partition of Bengal made by Lord Curzon in 1905 lasted until King George V abrogated Curzon's Act at the Royal Darbar in Delhi in 1911. The partition of Bengal made by the Lord Curzon in 1905 lasted until the partition of Bengal made by the Lord Curzon in 1905 lasted until King George V abrogated Curzon's Act at the Royal Darbar in Delhi in 1911. The wrong options are the First World War when Indian troops were needed by the British and the partition was ended. Gandhiji launched his civil disobedience movement and the partition of India in 1947 when East Bengal became East Pakistan. The Ghadar was a revolutionary association of Indians with headquarters at the San Francisco. The Ghadar was a revolutionary association of Indians with headquarters at San Francisco. Wrong option. Nationalist organization operating from the Singapore. Militant organization with headquarters at Berlin. Communist movement for India's freedom with headquarters at Tashkent. The Elbert Bill controversy was related to the Elbert Bill controversy was related with the removal of disqualifications imposed on the Indian magistrate with regard to the trial of the Europeans, not removal of the duty on imported cotton cloth, not impositions of the curtain restrictions to carry arms by the Indians, not impositions of restrictions on the newspaper and magazines published in Indian language. Consider the following statements. The most effective contribution made by Dadabhai Naoroji to cause of Indian national movement was that he exposed the economic exploitation of India by the British. The most effective contribution made by Dadabhai Naoroji, the most effective contribution made by the Dadabhai Naoroji to the cause of Indian national movement was that he exposed the economic exploitation of India by the British. Wrong options are interpreted the ancient Indian text and restored the self-confidence of Indians. Interpreted the ancient Indian text and restored the self-confidence of Indians. Stressed the need for eradications of all the social evil before anything else. Stressed the need for eradication of all the social evils before anything else. So these are wrong options. So only one right option. With the reference to the period of colonial rule in India, with the reference to the period of colonial rule in India, home charges formed an important part of drain of wealth from India. Which of the following funds constituted home charges? So with the reference to the period of colonial rule in India, home charges formed an important part of drain of wealth from India. Which of the following funds constituted home charges? Right option 1 and 2. Funds used to support the India office in London. Funds used to support the India office in London. Next, funds used to pay salaries and pensions of British personnel engaged in India. So 1 and 2 only right option. What was the purpose with which Sir William Wedderburn and W.S. Chain had set up the Indian Parliamentary Committee in 1893? What was the purpose with which Sir William Wedderburn and W.S. King had set up the Indian Parliamentary Committee in 1893. The agitate for Indian political reforms in the House of Commons. The agitate for Indian political reforms in House of Commons. Wrong options. The campaign for the entry of Indians into the imperial judiciary to facilitate to discussion on Indians' independence in the British Parliament to agitate for the entry of eminent Indians into the British Parliament. Now, next option, what was the immediate cause for the launch of Swadeshi movement? What was the immediate cause for the launch of Swadeshi movement? What was the immediate cause for the launch of Swadeshi movement? The partition of Bengal done by the Lord Curzon. Immediate cause for the launch of Swadeshi movement. Immediate cause for the launch of Swadeshi movement. The partition of Bengal done by Lord Curzon. Not wrong options are a sentence of 18 months, rigorous imprisonment imposed on Lokmanya Tilak, the arrest and deportations of Lala Lajpat Rai, Ajit Singh, and the passing of four of the Punjab colonization bill, death sentence pronounced on the Chapekar brothers. Chapekar brothers. So the right option, the partition of Bengal done by the Lord Curzon, was the immediate cause for the launch of Swadeshi movement. The wrong option is a sentence of 18 months rigorous imprisonment imposed on Lokmanya Tilak and the arrest and deportations of the Lala Lajpat Rai Ajit Singh and the passing of the Punjab colonization bill, death sentence pronounced on the Chapekar brothers. In the context of the Indian freedom struggle, 16th October 1905 is well known for which one of the following reasons. In the context of the Indian freedom struggle, 16 October 1905 is well known for which one of the following reasons partition of Bengal came into effect. Partition of Bengal came into effect. In the context of the Indian freedom struggle, 16 October 1905 is well known for which one of the following reasons partition of Bengal came into effect. Who was the Viceroy of India when the Rowlatt Act was passed? Who was the Viceroy of India when the Rowlatt Act was passed? Lord Chelmsford. Lord Chelmsford. Lord Chelmsford was a Viceroy of India when the Rowlatt Act was passed, not Lord Irwin, not Lord Reading, not Lord Wavell. The first conference of Indian National Congress held at Mumbai. The first conference of Indian National Congress held at Mumbai. The first conference of Indian National Congress held at Mumbai, not Kolkata, not Lahore, not Pune. Consider the following statements about the Madam Bhikaji Kama. Consider the following statements about the Madam Bhikaji Kama. Consider the following statements about the Madam Bhikaji Kama. Madam Kama unfurled the national flag at the International Socialist Conference in Paris in the year 1907. Consider the following statements about the Madam Bhikaji Kama. Madam Kama unfurled the national flag at the International Socialist Conference in the Paris in the year 1907. Right options are Madam Kama served as a private secretary to the Dadabhai Naoroji. Madam Kama served as private secretary to the Dadabhai Naoroji, and Madam Kama was born into Paris. Madam Kama was born to Paris. These are right options. Now next we two and three right options. What was the Kama Gatam Maru? Kama Gata Maru. What was the Kama Gata Maru? What was the Kama Gata Maru? A novel ship of the voyage to Canada. A novel ship of voyage to Canada. Wrong options are a political party based in Taiwan, peasant communist leader of China, a Chinese village where Mao Zedong began his long march. So these are wrong options. Kama Gatama Aru, a novel ship of voyage into Canada. Where were the Ghadar revolutionaries who became active during the outbreak of World War One base? Where were the Ghadar revolutionaries who became active during the outbreak of World War One based North America? Where were the Ghadar revolutionaries who became active during the outbreak of World War One based North America, not Central America, not West America, not South America? Now 23rd. The name of the famous person of India who returned the knighthood conferred on him by the British government as a token of protest against the atrocities in Punjab in 1919 was Rabindranath Tagore, the name of the famous person of India who returned the knighthood conferred on him by British government as a token of protest against the atrocities in Punjab 1919 was Rabindranath Tagore. Wrong option Tej Bahadur Sapro, Ashutosh Mukherjee, Sayyid Ahmed Khan. With reference to the period of extremist nationalist movement in India, with its spirit of the Swadeshi, which one of the following statement is not correct? With reference to the period of extremist nationalist movement in India, with its spirit of Swadeshi, which one of the following statement is not correct? Liaquat Hussain led the Muslim peasants of the Brussels in their agitation. Liaquat Hussain led the Muslim peasants of the Baraisal in their agitation. So, with reference to the period of extremist nationalist movement in India, with its spirit of Swadeshi, which one of the following statement is not correct? Liaquat Hussain led the Muslim peasants of Brussels in their agitation. Wrong options in 1889. The scheme of the national education was formulated by Satish Chandra Mukherjee, and the Bengal National College was founded in 1906 with the Aurobindo as the principal. Tagore preached the cult of Atma Shakti, the main plank of which was social and economic regeneration of the villages. These are wrong options. Sorry. These are right option and that is the wrong option. Not correct statement. Liaquat Hussain led the Muslim peasants of Baraisal in their agitation wrong. And all three are right option. In the 1889, the scheme of the national education was formulated by Satish Chandra Mukherjee. The Bengal National College was founded in 1906 with Aurobindo as the principal, and Tagore preached the cult of Atma Shakti, the main plank of which was social and economic regeneration of the villages. Which one of the following submitted in 1875 a petition to the House of the Commons demanding India's direct representation in the British Parliament? Which one of the following submitted in 1857 a petition to the House of Commons demanding India's direct representation in the British Parliament? The Pune Sarvajanik Sabha. The Pune Sarvajanik Sabha submitted in 1875 a petition to the House of the Commons demanding India's direct representation in the British Parliament. The Hunter Committee was appointed after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Hunter Committee was appointed after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Hunter Committee was appointed after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, not Black Hole incident, not uprising of 1857, not partition of Bengal. So Hunter Committee was appointed after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Who among the following organized the famous Chittagong Armory raid? Famous Chittagong Armory raid organized by Surya Sen. So the who among the following organized the famous Chittagong Armory raid? Surya Sen. Consider the following statements about the Indian National Congress. Consider the following statements about the Indian National Congress. Consider the following statements about the Indian National Congress. Consider the following statements about the Indian National Congress. C.R. Das was in prison when he functioned as the president of the Congress. C.R. Das was in prison when he functioned as the president of the Congress. Alfred Webb was the president of the Congress in 1894. Alfred Webb was the president of the Congress in 1894. Sarojini Naidu was the first woman to be the president of the Congress. Wrong option because that the Muslim and the first Britisher to become the president of the Congress was Alan Octavian Hume. This is also wrong option. C.R. Das was in prison when he functioned as the president of the Congress. Alfred Webb was the Congress in 1894. These correct statements. Match list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. First, Chittagong Armory Raid, Kalpana Dutt. Chittagong Armory Raid, Kalpana Dutt. Abhinav Bharat, Vyanak Damodar Savarkar. Abhinav Bharat, Vinayak Damodar सावरकर, अभिनव भारत विनायक दामोदर सावरकर, अनुशीलन समिति गुरुराम सिंह, अनुशीलन समिति गुरुराम सिंह, and Kuka movement Gururam. No, this is wrong option. These are wrong option. Chittogong Armory Raid. Chittogong Armory Raid Kalpana Dutt. अभिनव भारत विनायक दामोदर सावरकर. अनुशीलन समिति औरोबिंदो घोष. अनुशीलन समिति औरोबिंदो घोष and अभिनव and Kuka movement Gururam Singh. 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 While delivering the now 30 question, while delivering the presidential address, the Congress president who advocated the introduction of Roman script for the Hindi language was Subhash Chandra Bose. While delivering the presidential address, the Congress president who advocated the introductions of the Roman script for the Hindi language was Subhash Chandra Bose. Not Mahatma Gandhi, not Jawaharlal Nehru, not Abdul Kalam Azad. Subhash Chandra Bose. Delivering the presidential address, the Congress president who advocated the introductions of the Roman script for the Hindi language was Subhash Chandra Bose. Which one of the following Indian leaders was dismissed by the British from the Indian Civil Service? Which one of the following Indian leaders was dismissed by the British from the Indian Civil Service? Surendranath Banerjee. Which one of the following Indian leaders was dismissed by the British from the Indian Civil Service? Surendranath Banerjee. Not Satyendranath Tagore, not R.C. Then, not Subhash Chandra Bose. The first venture of the Gandhi in all India politics was the Rowlatt Satyagraha. The first venture of the Gandhi in all India politics was the Rowlatt Satyagraha. The first venture of the Gandhi in all India politics was the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Not non-cooperation movement, not Champaran movement, not Dandi March. Which one of the following defines the extremist ideology during the early phase of Indian freedom movement? Which one of the following defines extremist ideology during the early phase of Indian freedom movement? Which one of the following defines extremist ideology during the early phase of Indian freedom movement? Obtaining self-government by aggressive means in the place of petition and constitutional ways. Obtaining self-government by aggressive means in the place of petition and constitutional ways. Not stimulating the productions of the indigenous articles by the giving preference over the important commodities. Obtaining the self-government by aggressive means in the place by petitions and constitutional ways. Not providing national education according to the requirements of the country. Not organizing corps against the British Empire through military revolt. So, which one of the following defines extremist ideology? Which one of the following defines extremist ideology during the early phase of Indian freedom movement? During the early phase of Indian freedom movement, so obtaining self-government by aggressive means in place of petitions and constitutional ways. The Muslims in general were not attracted to extremist movement because of the extremist policy of the harping on Hindu path. The Indian Muslims in general were not attracted to the extremist movement because of the extremist policy of harping on Hindu path. Not influence of the Sayyid Ahmad Khan, not anti-Muslim attitude of the extremist leader, not the indifference is shown to Muslim aspiration. Who was the leader of the Ghadar party? Lala Hardayal. Lala Hardayal was the leader of the Ghadar party. Match the list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. So, Abhinav Bharat Society, V.D. Savarkar, Abhinav Bharat Society, V.D. Savarkar, Anushilan Samiti, Shri Aurobindo Ghosh, Gadar Party, Lala Hardayal, and Swaraj Party, C.R. Das. Abhinav Bharat Society, V.D. Savarkar, Anushilan Samiti, Sir Aurobindo Ghosh, Gadar Party, Lala Hardayal and Swaraj Party, CR Das. The and Revolutionary Crime Act 1919 was popularly known as the Rowlatt Act. Anarchical, and Revolutionary Crime Act 1919 was popularly known as the Rowlatt Act. Anarchical and Revolutionary Crime Act 1919 was popularly known as the Rowlatt Act. Not British India Act, not Indian Arms Act, not Albert Bill. The Bara Dekoti was the first major venture of the revolutionary terrorists of the freedom movement in the Bara Dekoti was the first major venture of the revolutionary terrorists. Sorry. The Barra Dekoti was the first major venture of the revolutionary terrorists of the freedom movement in East Bengal. The Barra Dekoti was the first major venture of the revolutionary terrorists of the freedom of movement in East Bengal. Not Bombay, Karnataka, not Punjab, not Madras Presidency. Which one of the following international events influenced the course of the national movements in India before the advent of Mahatma Gandhi? Which one of the following international events influenced the course of national movement in India before the advent of Mahatma Gandhi? Italian Ab- Italian Abyssinian War 1898, Italian Abyssinian War 1898, Boxer movement in China, Revolutionary movement in Ireland, Victory of Japan in the Russo-Japanese War, Italian Abyssinian War 1898, Boxer movement in India, Revolutionary movement in Ireland, and victory of Japan in the Russo-Japanese War. What was the common among Madam Bhikaji, M. Barkatullah, V.V.S. Iyer, and M. N. Roy? What was the common among Madam Bhikaji, M. Barkatullah, V.V.S. Iyer, and M. N. Roy? All of them were among the prominent revolutionaries outside India operating in different countries during the freedom movement. So, what was the common among Madam Bhikaji, M. Barkatullah, V.V.S. Iyer, and M. N. Roy? So, all of them were among the prominent revolutionaries outside India operating in the different countries during the freedom movement. All of them the leading members of the International Communist Movement. Not. The Barkatullah was the Prime Minister and the rest were ministers in the provisional government of Free India established by the group of revolutionaries at Kabul. All of them were accused in the case relating to the throwing of bomb on the Lord Hardinge. These are wrong options. All of them were leading members of the International Communist Movement. Wrong. M. Barkatullah was the Prime Minister and rest were ministers in the provisional government of Free India established by the group of revolutionaries at Kabul. Wrong. All of them were accused in the case relating to the throwing of a bomb on Lord Hardinge. Wrong option. So right option, all of them were among the prominent revolutionaries outside India operating in different countries during the freedom movement. Now next question. Consider the following events and arrange them in chronological order. Consider the following events and arrange them in a chronological order. So first, the foundation of Ghadar Party. After the setup of the Indian Independence Committee in Berlin. Set up the Indian Independence Committee at Berlin. Third Central Assembly bomb case, and then foundation of Ghadar Party. Then Chittagong Armory raid. First, the foundation of Ghadar Party. Second, setup of the Indian Independence Committee at Berlin. Central Assembly bomb case, and then fourth, Chittagong Armory raid. Who among the following was not associated with the Kanpur conspiracy case of 1924? Who among the following was not associated with the Kanpur conspiracy case of 1924? M.A. Ansari. M.A. Ansari was not associated with the Kanpur conspiracy case of 1924. So who was associated? Muzaffar Ahmad associated, Nalini Gupta associated, Shaukat Usmani associated with the Kanpur conspiracy case of 1924. Who among the following Governor-Generals ridiculed Congress as representing only a microscopic minority of people? Who among the following Governor-Generals ridiculed Congress as representing only a microscopic minority of people? Who among the following Governor-Generals ridiculed Congress representing only a microscopic minority of people? Lord Dufferin. Lord Dufferin. Lord Dufferin, Governor-General, ridiculed Congress as representing only a microscopic minority of people. Who founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal in Calcutta in 1784? Who founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal in Calcutta in 1784? Who founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal in Calcutta 1784? William Jones. William Jones. William Jones founded the Asiatic Society of Bengal in Calcutta in 1804. Not Jonathan, not Warren, not Charles Grant, not Warren Hastings, not Jonathan Duncan. Among the following who established All Indian Harijan Sevak Sangh? Among the following who established All India Harijan Sevak Sangh? M.K. Gandhi. Mm. Among the following who established All India Harijan Sevak Sangh? M.K. Gandhi. Not B.J. Gokhale, not B.R. Ambedkar, not none of which of the following pairs is not correctly matched? Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? Nasik conspiracy case. Ras Bihari Bose. Ras Bihari Bose. Which of the following pairs is not correctly matched? Nasik conspiracy case. Ras Bihari Bose. This is the wrong option. Wrong matched. Delhi conspiracy case. Amir Chand. Kakori conspiracy case. Ashfaqullah. Lahore conspiracy case. Jatin Das. Delhi conspiracy case. Amir Chand. Kakori conspiracy case. Ashfaqullah. Lahore conspiracy case. Jatin Das. Who amongst the following was one of the founder of the Bombay Presidency Association in 1885? Who amongst the following was one of the founders of the Bombay Presidency Association in 1885? Firoz Shah Mehta. Firoz Shah Mehta. Who amongst the following was one of the founder of the Bombay Presidency Association in 1885? Firoz Shah Mehta. Not P. Anand Charley, not M. V. Raghav Cherial, not S. N. Banerjee. Which of the following sessions of the Indian National Congress was presided over by C. Vijay Raghav Cherial? Which of the following sessions of the Indian National Congress was presided over by the C. Vijay Raghav Cherial? Nagpur session 1920. Nagpur session 1920. Not Lucknow session 1916. Not Gaya session 1922. Not none of above. Right option Nagpur session 1920. Who among the following was the president of Indian National Congress Constitution continuously for 6 years? Who among the following was president of Indian National Congress continuously for 6 years? Kalam Azad. Abul Kalam Azad. Who among the following was president of Indian National Congress continuously for 6 years? Abul Kalam Azad. Who of the following continuously from 1904 onward emphasized on the grant of self-rule to India? Who of the following continuously from 1904 onwards emphasized on the grant of self-rule to India? Dada Bhai Naroji. Dada Bhai Naroji, not S.N. Banerjee, not Aurobindo Ghosh, not Firoz Mehta. Naroji, who among the following was not an extremist nationalist leader? Who among the following was not an extremist nationalist leader? Who among the following was not an extremist nationalist leader? G.K. Gokhale. Who among the following was not an extremist nationalist leader? G.K. Gokhale. Not Bipin Chandra Pal, not B.J. Tilak, not Lala Lajpat Rai. G.K. Gokhale. The first president of Indian National Congress was Umesh Chandra Banerjee. The first president of Indian National Congress was Umesh Chandra Banerjee. The first president of Indian National Congress was Umesh Chandra Banerjee. The first president of Indian National Congress was Umesh Chandra Banerjee. Dadabhai Naroji, Surendranath Banerjee, A.O. Home. These are wrong options. The first president of Indian National Congress was Umesh Chandra Banerjee. In which one of the following sessions Congress declared its policy towards the Indian states for the first time? In which of one of the following sessions In which one of the following sessions Congress declared its policy towards the Indian state of the first time? Nagpur session. In which one of the following sessions Congress declared its policy towards the Indian state for the first time? Nagpur session. Not Gaya session, not Kolkata session, not Lucknow session. In which of the following session? In which of the following session of Indian National Congress Jawaharlal Nehru spoke of socialism as the key to the solution of India's problems? In which of the following sessions of Indian National Congress in which of the following sessions of Indian National Congress Jawaharlal Nehru spoke of socialism as the key to the solution of India's problems? Lucknow. In which of the following sessions of Indian National Congress Jawaharlal Nehru spoke of the socialism as the key to the solution of India's problem? Lucknow. Who among the following was government advocate in Kakori conspiracy case? Jagat Narayan Maula. Who among the following was government advocate in Kakori conspiracy case? Jagat Narayan Mulla. Jagat Narayan Mulla. Jagat Narayan Mulla was government advocate in Kakori conspiracy case. Who amongst the following was the first chairman of the Ghadar party? Sohan Singh Bhakna. Sohan Singh Bhakna was the first chairman of the Ghadar party. Match list 1 and list 2. Select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. Indian Association, Indian Association, S.N. Banerjee. Indian Association, S.N. Banerjee. Indian Society, Anand Mohan Bose. Indian Society, Anand Mohan Bose. Indian Society, Anand Mohan Bose. British Indian Society, William Adams. British India Society, William Adams. British India Society, William Adams. Landholders Society, Dwarkanath Tagore. Landholders Society, Dwarkanath Tagore. Landholders Society, Dwarkanath Tagore. Dwarkanath Tagore. Who of the following were elected to collaborate with Mahatma Gandhi, who was to author to the new constitution of Congress as per the resolution of Indian National Congress at Amritsar session 1919? Who of the following were elected to collaborate the Mahatma Gandhi, who was author the new constitution of the Congress as per the resolution of Indian National Congress at the Amritsar session 1919? N.C. Kelkar, I.B. Sen. N.C. Kelkar, I.B. Sen. N.C. Kelkar, I.B. Sen. Who of the following were elected to the Cabinet with Mahatma Gandhi, who was to author the new constitutions of the Congress as per the resolutions of Indian National Congress at the Amritsar session? N.C. Kelkar and I.B. Sen. The last session of Indian National Congress attended by the Bal Gangadhar Tilak was Amritsar session 1990. The last session of Indian National Congress attended by the Bal Gangadhar Tilak was Amritsar session 1919. Not Calcutta session 1906, not Surat session 1907, not Calcutta session 1917. So Amritsar session 1919, the last session of Indian National Congress attended by the Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Who amongst the following revolutionaries refused to drink the given milk on the eve of his execution and said, "Now I shall take my mother's milk only. Now I shall take my mother's milk only." Who amongst the following revolutionaries refused to drink the given milk on the eve of his execution and said, "Now I shall take my mother's milk only. Now I shall take my mother's milk only." Ram Prasad Bismil. Ram Prasad Bismil. Ram Prasad Bismil. Not Rajguru, not Asfaqullah, not Bhagat Singh. Match the list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. First, Mitra Mela. Mitra Mela. Mitra Mela. Mitra Mela. V.D. Savarkar. मित्र मेला वी.डी. सावरकर. मित्र मेला वी.डी. सावरकर. अभिनव भारत. अभिनव भारत. अभिनव भारत. जी.डी. सावरकर. अभिनव भारत. जी.डी. सावरकर. अभिनव भारत. जी.डी. सावरकर. अभिनव भारत. जी.डी. सावरकर. इंडियन रिपब्लिकन आर्मी. इंडियन रिपब्लिकन आर्मी. इंडियन रिपब्लिकन आर्मी. इंडियन रिपब्लिकन आर्मी एसएन. इंडियन रिपब्लिकन आर्मी एसएन. हिंदुस्तान रिपब्लिक एसोसिएशन. हिंदुस्तान रिपब्लिक एसोसिएशन एसएन सान्याल. हिंदुस्तान रिपब्लिक एसोसिएशन एसएन सान्याल. So V.D. Savarkar, मित्र मेला. V.D. Savarkar, मित्र मेला. G.D. Savarkar, अभिनव भारत. G.D. Savarkar, अभिनव भारत. And S.N. Sanyal, Hindustan Republic Association, S.N. Sanyal, Hindustan Republic Association, S.N. Indian Republican Army, Indian Republican Army, S.N. Under the chairmanship, a committee, under whose chairmanship a committee was formed to defend the accused in Kakuri. Under whose chairmanship a committee was formed to defend the accused in Kalkuri case. Under whose chairmanship a committee was formed to defend the accused in Kakuri case. Motilal Nehru. Motilal Nehru. Motilal Nehru. Under whose chairmanship a committee was formed to defend the accused in Kakuri case. Motilal Nehru. Not Acharya Narendra Dev, not Govind Ballabh Pant, not Chandra Bhanu Gupta. Who said criticism and independent thought are the two characteristics of a revolutionary? Who said criticism and independent thought are the two characteristics of a revolutionary? Bhagat Singh. Who said criticism and independent thought are two characteristics of a revolutionary? Bhagat Singh. Not Ram Prasad Bismil, not Sachindranath Sanyal, not Bhagwati Charan Vora. India House in London was established by Shyamji Krishna Varma. India House in London was established by Shyamji Krishna Varma. India House in London was established by Shyamji Krishna Varma, not Barkatullah, not Rendranath Chattopadhyay, not Lala Hardayal. The Lieutenant Governor of Bengal at the time of partition of Bengal was Sir Andrew Fraser. Sir Andrew Fraser. The Lieutenant Governor of Bengal at the time of partition of Bengal was Sir Andrew Fraser. Fraser. Sir Andrew Fraser. The Lieutenant Governor of Bengal at the time of partition of Bengal was Sir Andrew Fraser. Not H.S. Risley, not Broderick, not A.T. Arundel. The British journalist H.W. Nevinson was associated with Swadeshi movement. The British journalist H.W. Nevinson was associated with Swadeshi movement. Not non-cooperation movement, not civil disobedience movement, not Quit India movement. The British journalist H.W. Nevinson was associated with Swadeshi movement. The task of drafting Congress Inquiry Committee report on Jallianwala Bagh massacre was entrusted to Mahatma Gandhi. The task of the drafting Congress Inquiry. The task of drafting Congress Inquiry Committee report on Jallianwala Bagh massacre was entrusted to Mahatma Gandhi, not Jawaharlal Nehru, not C.R. Das, not Fazlul Haq. Match the list 1 to list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. So first, Motilal Nehru, Amritsar 1919, Motilal Nehru, Amritsar 1919, D.R. Rajendra Prasad, D.R. Rajendra Prasad, Bombay 1934, place where meeting of Indian National Congress was held. President, places where meetings of Indian National Congress was held. Abdul Kalam Azad, Ramgarh 1940, Abdul Kalam Azad, Ramgarh 1940, Sarojini Naidu, Kanpur 1925, Sarojini Naidu President, Kanpur 1925, where place meeting of Indian National Congress was held. Motilal Nehru, Amritsar 1919 and Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Bombay 1934. Amritsar 1919 Motilal Nehru and Bombay 1934 Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Kanpur 1925 Sarojini Naidu, Ramgarh 1940 Abdul Kalam Azad. Bhagat Singh Memorial is situated at Firozpur. Firozpur. Bhagat Singh Memorial is situated at Firozpur. Bhagat Singh Memorial is situated at Firozpur. Bhagat Singh Memorial is situated at Firozpur, not Amritsar, not Ludhiana, not Gurdaspur. When did Bal Gangadhar Tilak get the title Lokmanya? When did the Bal Gangadhar Tilak get the title Lokmanya? Home Rule Movement. Home Rule Movement. Bal Gangadhar Tilak get the title Lokmanya. Lokmanya. Home Rule Movement where Gangadhar Tilak get the title Lokmanya. Aurobindo Ghosh was the brilliantly defended in the Alipur conspiracy case by Chittaranjan Das. Aurobindo Ghosh was brilliantly defended. Aurobindo Ghosh was brilliantly defended in the Alipur conspiracy case. Chittaranjan Das. Chittaranjan Das. A provincial government of India with the Raja Mahendra Pratap as its president was established during the First World War in Afghanistan. A provincial government of India with Raja Mahendra Pratap as its presidential was established during the First World War in Afghanistan. A provincial government of India with Raja Mahendra Pratap as its president was established during the First World War in Afghanistan. Not Germany, not Singapore, not Turkey. Match the list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. President, Session of Congress. President, Session of Congress. So Haripura, Subhash Chandra Bose. Haripura, Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose, Haripura. Kanpur, Sarojini Naidu, Kanpur. Sarojini Naidu, Kanpur. Madras, Dr. M. A. Ansari. Dr. M. A. Ansari, Madras. Nasik, Purushottam Das Tandon. Purushottam Das Tandon. Dr. M. A. Ansari, Dr. M. A. Ansari, Madras. Purushottam Das Tandon. नासिक सरोजिनी नायडू कानपुर और सुभाष चंद्र बोस हरिपुरा. Mahatma Gandhi presided over only in one session of Indian National Congress in 1924. Where was the session held? Belgaum. Mahatma Gandhi presided over only in one session of the Indian National Congress in 1924. Where was the session held? Belgaum. Mahatma Gandhi presided over only in one session of the Indian National Congress. Where was the session held? Belgaum. Not Gaya, not Amritsar, not Kanpur. Belgaum. Where? Session of Indian National Congress in 1924. The session held by the Mahatma Gandhi presided over only in one session. Who among the following started the Mitra Mela Union? Who among the following started the Mitra Mela Union? Who among the following started the Mitra Mela Union? Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Vinayak दामोदर सावरकर, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Who among the following started the Mitra Mela Union? Who among the following started the Mitra Mela Union? Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Who among the following led the agitations against the partition of Bengal in 1905? Who among the following led the agitation against the partition of Bengal 1905? Surendranath Banerjee. Who among the following led the agitation against the partition of Bengal 1905? Surendranath Banerjee. Who among the following led the agitation against the partition of Bengal 1905? Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee, not Sher Das, not Asutosh Mukherjee, not Rabindranath Tagore. Who was the first to suggest the boycott of British goods in Bengal? Who was who was the first to suggest the boycott of British goods in Bengal? Who was the first to suggest the boycott of British goods in Bengal? Who was the first to suggest the boycott of British goods in Bengal? Krishna Kumar Mitra. Krishna Kumar Mitra was first to suggest the boycott of British goods in Bengal, not Aurobindo Ghosh, not Motilal Ghosh, not Sachin Chandra Mukherjee. Who among the following led the Swadeshi movement at Delhi? Sayyid Haider Raja. Sayyid Haider Raja. Who among the following led the Swadeshi movement at Delhi? Sayyid Haider Raja, not Bal Gangadhar Tilak, not Ajit Singh, not Lajpat Rai. Who among the following led the Swadeshi movement at Delhi? Swadeshi movement at Delhi. Sayyid Haider Raza. Sayyid Haider Raza. Who among the following leaders was supporter of Swadeshi? Who among the following leaders was a supporter of Swadeshi? Dada Bhai Naroji. Who among the following leaders was a supporter of Swadeshi? Dada Bhai Naroji. Not Aurobindo Ghosh, not Firoz Shah Mehta, not Subhash Chandra Bose. Not Aurobindo Ghosh, not Firoz Shah Mehta, not Subhash Chandra Bose. Yugantar party was led by Jatindranath Mukherjee. Yugantar party was led by Jatindranath Mukherjee. Yugantar party was led by Jatindranath Mukherjee. Yugantar party was led by the Jatindranath Mukherjee. Yugantar party was led by the Jatindranath Mukherjee, not Sachindranath Sanyal, not Raspberry Bose, not Subhash Chandra Bose. Who among the following was never elected as the president of Indian National Congress? Who among the following was never elected? Who among the who among who among the following was never elected as a president of the Indian National Congress? Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Who among the following was never elected as a president? Who among the following was never elected as the president of the Indian National Congress? Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, not Lala Rajpat Rai, not any Desai, not Motilal Nehru. The Haripura session of Indian National Congress. The Haripura session of Indian National Congress. The Haripura session of Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress. The Haripura of Indian National Congress. The Haripura session of Indian National Congress. The Haripura session of Indian National Congress. The Haripura of Indian National Congress. The Haripura session of Indian National Congress in 1938 was presided over by Subhash Chandra Bose. 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 Subhash Chandra. The Haripura session of India. The Haripura session of India. The Haripura session of Indian National Congress 1938 was presided over the Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose. Not Abdul Kalam Azad, not J.B. Kripalani, not Rajendra Prasad. Not Rajendra Prasad. Who founded the Anushilan Samiti? 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 P. Mitra. 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 Who founded the Anushirana 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 Samiti? P. Mitra. Not Virendra Ghosh, not V.D. Savarkar, not Narendra Goshani, not Narendra Goshani. Who had established Indian Independence League? Who had established Indian Independence League? Who had established independence? Who had established independence? Who had established? Who had established? Who had established Independence League? 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 Who had established Indian Independence League? Rash Bihari Bose. Raj 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 Bihari Bose. Who had established Indian Independence League? Raj Bihari Bose. Raj Bihari Bose. Who suggested launching a no-tax campaign as protest against Rowlatt Act? Swami Shraddhananda. Shraddhanand. Swami Shraddhanand. Swami Shraddhanand. Swami Shraddhanand. Swami Shraddhanand. Who suggested launching a no-tax campaign as a protest against the Rowlatt Act? Swami Shraddhanand. Name of the organization formed by the Surendranath Banerjee, which merged with the Indian National Congress in 1886. Name of the organization formed by the Surendranath Banerjee, which merged with the Indian National Congress in 1886. In 1886, Indian Association, not East India Association, not London Indian Society, not Indian National Congress. Who among the following transformed the traditional Ganpati festival of Maharashtra into a national festival and gave it a political character? Who among the following transformed the traditional Ganpati festival of Maharashtra? Who among the following transformed the traditional Ganpati festival of Maharashtra into a national festival and gave it a political character? Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak transformed the traditional Ganpati festival of Maharashtra into a national festival and gave it a political character. The Indian Home Rule Society in London was started by the Shyamji Krishna Varma. The Indian Home Rule Society in London was started by the Shyamji Krishna Varma. Shyamji Krishna Varma. The Indian Home Rule Society in India was started by the Shyamji Krishna Varma. Not Annie Besant, not B.G. Tilak, not M.K. Gandhi. Shyamji Krishna Varma. Who among the following had founded the Indian Society of Oriental Art to revive ancient art tradition of India? Who among the following had founded the Indian Society of Oriental Art to revive ancient art tradition of India? Ab- Ab- Abanindranath Abanindranath Tagore, not Nandlal Bose, not Asitya Kumar Halla, not Amrita Shergill, who resigned from their membership of Viceroy Executive Council as a protest against Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Shankaran Nair, who resigned from the membership of Viceroy Executive Council as a protest against Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Shankaran Nair, not Mahatma Gandhi, not Rabindranath Tagore, not Jamman Lal Bajaj. Shankaran Nair. संग्रह नहीं है। Match the list 1 to list 2. Select the correct answer using the code given below the list. British Indian Association. British Indian Association. British Indian Association. Radha Kant Dev. 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 Bombay Presidency Association. Bombay Presidency Association. KT Bombay Bombay Presidency Association. Bombay Presidency Association. KT Telang. KT Telang. KT Telang. Central Mohammedan National Association. Central Mohammedan National Association. Central Mohammedan National Association. Sayyid Amir Ali. Servants of Indian Society. Servants of Indian Society. Servants of Indian Society. Servants of Indian Society. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Servants of Indian Society. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Servants of Indian Society. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Who among the following was not a member of the Hindustan Republican Association (HR)? Who among the following? Who among the following? Who among the following was not a member of the Hindustan? Who among the following? Who among the following? Who among the following? Who among the following was not a member of the Hindustan? Who among the following was not the member of the Hindustan Republican Association (HR) is Shiv Verma, not Bhagat Singh, not Chandrasekhar Azad, not Ram Prasad Bismi. In which of the following session of the Indian National Congress Bal Gangadhar Tilak had expressed Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. In which of the following session of Indian National Congress Bal Gangadhar Tilak had expressed Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Lucknow session, 19th session. Lucknow session, 19th session. Lucknow session, 19th session. Lucknow session, 19th session. Not Banaras session, 1905. Not Kolkata session, 1906. Not Surat session, 1907. Given below is a list of persons who became president of Indian National Congress. Arrange them in chronological order. Given below is the list person who became president of Indian National Congress. Arrange them in chronological order. Mahatma Gandhi. Given below is a list persons who became presidents of Indian National Congress. Arrange them in chronological order. Mahatma Gandhi, SMT Sarojini Naidu, Jawaharlal Nehru, and then Vallabhbhai Patel. Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mahatma Gandhi, then SMT Sarojini Naidu, and then Jawaharlal Nehru, then Vallabhbhai Patel. Select your answer using the code given below list 1, 4, 2, 3. And then given the below is a list of organizations. Select those engaged in revolutionary activities using the codes given below the list. Given below is a list of organization. Given below is a list of organizations. Select those engaged in revolutionary activities using the codes given below the list. Abhinav Bharat and Anushilan Samiti. Abhinav Bharat, Anushilan Samiti. Abhinav Bharat, Anushilan Samiti. Which one of the following pair got sentenced to be hanged for assassination of the British officers in England? Which of the following pair got sentenced to be hanged for assassinations of the British officers in England? Madan Lal Dhingra and Udham Singh. Madan Lal Dhingra and Udham Singh. Madan Lal Dhingra and Udham Singh. Not Rajguru and Sukhdev. Kudirma Bose and Surya Sen. Kudirma Bose and Surya Sen. Kartar Singh Sarabha and Asfaqullah Khan. Seats of discard were in which event? Seats of discard were in which event during national movement and which eventually divided to the country? Seats of discard were in which event during national movements and which eventually divided the country was reservations of seats and separate electorates for Muslims and legislative assembly. Reservation of seats and separate reservation of seats and separate electorates of a Muslim legislative assembly, who is regarded as a mother of Indian revolution, who is regarded as the mother of Indian revolution, Bhikaji Rustam Kama, 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 Bhikaji Rustam Kama. दारो दीवारे हसरत की नजर करते हैं, खुश रहो अहले वतन हम तो सफर करते हैं. दारो दीवार पे हसरत की नजर करते हैं, खुश रहो पहले वतन हम तो सफर करते हैं. वाजिद अली शाह. वाजिद अली शाह. During the Indian struggle, a large and during the Indian freedom struggle, a large unarmed crowd gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh at the Amritsar on April 13, 1919 to protest against the arrest of Dr. Safiuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. During the Indian freedom struggle, a large unarmed crowd gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar on April 13, 1919 protest against the arrest of Dr. Safiuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal. The Congress is flattering to its fall, and one of my great ambition while in India is to assist it to a peaceful demise. This declaration was made by Lord Curzon. This declaration was made by Lord Curzon. This declaration was made by Lord Curzon. Which of the following occurred last? Partitions of Bengal. Which of the following occurred last? Which of the following occurred last? Partition of Bengal. Which of the following occurred last? Partition of Bengal. Which one of the following event was characteristic by the Montagu as preventing murder? Which one of the following events was characteristic? Which one of the following events was characterized by Montague as preventive murder? Massacre of Jallianwala Bagh. Massacre of Jallianwala Bagh. Who among the following was not present at the founding session of the Indian National Congress? Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee. Who among the following was not present at the founding session of the Indian National Congress? Surendranath Banerjee. Who among the following was not present at the founding session of the Indian National Congress? Surendranath Banerjee. Who among the following was not present at the founding session of the Indian National Congress? Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee. Who founded Surendranath? Hindustan Socialist Republican Association was formed. Chandrasekhar Azad. Hindustan Socialist Republican Association was formed by Chandrasekhar Azad. Hindustan Socialist Republican Association was formed by Chandrasekhar Azad. Hindustan Socialist Republican Association was formed by Chandrasekhar Azad. On what charge was Jatin Das arrested? On what charge was Jatin Das arrested? Lahore conspiracy. On what charge was Jatin Das arrested? Lahore conspiracy. On what charge was Jatin Das arrested? Lahore conspiracy. Lahore conspiracy. Lahore conspiracy. Lahore conspiracy. Lahore conspiracy. Who from the following killed Michael O'Dwyer? Who from the following killed Michael O'Dwyer, responsible for Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Udham Singh. Who from the following killed Michael O'Dwyer, responsible for Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Udham Singh. Udham Singh. Who launched the first Home Rule? Who launched the first Home Rule League movement? Who launched the first Home Rule League movement? Tilak. Who launched the first Home Rule movement? Tilak. Who was the first Viceroy of India at the time of Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919? Lord Chelmsford. Who was the Viceroy of India at the time of Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919? Lord Chelmsford. Lord Chelmsford. Who called Bal Gangadhar Tilak the father of Indian unrest? Who called the Bal Gangadhar Tilak the father of India unrest? Valentine Sherroll, Valentine Sherroll, Valentine Sherroll. Who among the following threw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly on April 8, 1929 to make the deaf British government hear? Who among the following threw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly on April 8, 1929 to make the deaf British government hear? Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt. Batukeshwar Dutt. Who among the following were the critics of the Swadeshi movement and who among the following were the critics of the Swadeshi movement and pleaded for a better understanding between the East and West? East and West. East and West. R. N. Tagore. Wrong options are W. C. Banerjee, S. N. Banerjee, B. J. Tirak. So, R. N. Tagore was the critics of the Swadeshi movement and pleaded for a better understanding between the East and West. East and West. Which of the following pairs do not match? Which of the following pairs do not match? East India Association, Calcutta, Indian Association, Bombay. Wrong pairs. British Indian Society in London, British Indian Society in London, and National Indian Association, London. National Indian Association, London. National Indian Association, London. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. Indian League, Shishir Kumar Ghosh. 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 Indian Association, Anand Mohan Bose. 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 Indian National Liberal Federation, Indian National Liberal Federation, Indian National Liberal Federation, Syed Ahmed Khan. Indian National Liberal Federation, Syed Ahmed Khan. Syed Ahmed Khan. United National, oh sorry, Indian National Liberal Federation, Surendranath Banerjee. United Indian Patriotic Association, in the United Indian Patriotic Association, Syed Ahmed Khan. Syed Ahmed Khan. Syed Ahmed Khan. Who was the leader of the Swadeshi movement in Madras? Who was the leader of Swadeshi movement? Swadeshi movement. Who was the leader of Swadeshi movement in Madras? Who was the leader of the Swadeshi movement? Who was the leader of the Swadeshi movement in Madras? Chidambaram Pillai. Chidambaram Pillai. Who was the leader of the Swadeshi movement in Madras? Chidambaram Pillai. Name of the first recorded Muslim who was hanged for Indian freedom. Name the first recorded Muslim who was hanged for Indian freedom. Asfaqullah Khan. Asfaqullah Khan. Name the first recorded Muslim who was hanged for Indian freedom. Asfaqullah Khan. Select the correct sequence of the following. Wrong option. Muhammad Ali, Shaukat Ali, Azizuddin. Select the correct sequence of the following event by using the codes given below. First, Dr. Satyapal in, incarceration, incarceration, and then second, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and then third, Amritsar Congress session 1919, Amritsar Congress session 1919. Who accused Indian National Congress of practicing politics of the prayer, petition, and protest? Who accused Indian National Congress of practicing? Who accused Indian National Congress of practicing politics of prayer, partition, and protest? Politics of prayer, partition, and protest. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Partition of Bengal was done mainly to weaken the growth of nationalism in Bengal. Partitions of Bengal was done mainly to weaken the growth of nationalism in Bengal, not to divide the Hindu and Muslim, not for the administrative convenience, not for the development of Bengal. Who established Indian Association in 1876 AD? Who established Indian Association in 1876 AD? Surendranath Banerjee established Indian Association in 1876 AD. Surendranath Banerjee established Indian Association in 1876 AD. Wrong option, Chittaranjan Das, W. C. Banerjee, or Aurobindo Ghosh. So Surendranath Banerjee established Indian Association in 1876. In which place, Khudiram Bose tried to kill Kingsford? In which place Khudiram Bose tried to kill Kingsford? In which place Khudiram Bose tried to kill Kingsford? Muzaffarpur. Muzaffarpur. In which place Khudiram Bose tried to kill Kingsford? Muzaffarpur. Who has said about Bengal partition? The partition announcement fell like a bombshell. Who was said about Bengal partition? The partition announcement fell like bombshell. Bombshell. Who was said about the Bengal partition? The partition's announcement fell like a bombshell. Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee. Surendranath Banerjee. Who was said about Bengal partition? The partition announcement fell like a bombshell. Surendranath Banerjee. Not Gopal Krishna Gokhale, not Bipin Chandra Pal, not Chittaranjan Das, none of the above. Which one of the following was not objective of the Indian National Congress as pointed out by the W.C. Banerjee in 1885? Which one of the following was not objective of the Indian National Congress as pointed out by the W.C. Banerjee in 1885? To express the viewpoint on necessary social issues with due consent of the educated class. Which of the following was not objective of Indian National Congress as pointed out by W.C. Banerjee in 1885? To express a viewpoint on the necessary social issue with due consent of the educated class. Wrong option, to promote contact and friendship among the protectors of the interests of the country, to promote the feeling of nationalism among fellow countrymen by the removing the feeling of casteism, communalism, and regional biases, and the biases, to determine on which direction and on which basis the work has to be done the coming year for the Indian public interest. These are wrong options. Which of the following was not objective? These are the right options, and that is wrong. Which of the following was not objective of the Indian National Congress, as pointed out by W.C. Banerjee in 1885, to express the viewpoint on the necessary social issue with due consent of educated class? Right options: to promote contact and friendship among the protectors of the interest of the country, to promote the feeling of nationalism among fellow countrymen by the removing the feeling of casteism, communalism, and regional biases, to determine on which direction and on which basis the work has to be done in the coming years for the Indian public interest. Who was the second Muslim president in the Indian National Congress? Who was the second Muslim president in Indian National Congress? Who was the second president? Who was the second president? Who was the second president? Muslim. Who was the second Muslim president? 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 The Indian National Congress, Rahmatullah Muhammad Sayani. Who is the author of the popular song सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है? None of the above. Surya Sen was not the author of चंद्रशेखर आजाद, सरदार भगत सिंह और राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल. सूर्य सेन, चंद्रशेखर आजाद, सरदार भगत सिंह और राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल. These are not the author of the popular song of सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में. Who was founded Abhinav Bharat Society in 1906 in London? Who founded Abhinav Bharat Society in 1906 in London? Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Founder Abhinav Bharat Society in 1906 in London. Which revolutionaries were hanged in the Kakori train robbery case? Which revolutionary were hanged in the Kakori train robbery case? Ram Prasad Bismil and Ashfaqullah. Ram Prasad Bismil and Ashfaqullah. Not Veer Savarkar and Vasudev Chapekar. Not Prafulla Chandra Chakki and Khudiram Bose. Not Surya Sen and Udham Singh. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened in the context of which Gandhian Satyagraha? Rowlatt Satyagraha. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened in the context of which Gandhian Satyagraha? Rowlatt Satyagraha. Who established a branch of Anushilan Samiti at Patna in 1930? Who established a branch of Anushilan Samiti at Patna in 1913? Sachindranath Sanyal. Sachindranath Sanyal. Who established a branch of Anushilan Samiti at Patna in 1930? Sachindranath Sanyal. Who was the president of Gaya session the Indian National Congress held in 1922? Chittaranjan Das. Who was the president of Gaya session of the Indian National Congress held in 1922? Chittaranjan Das. Not S.N. Banerjee, not Dr. Rajendra Prasad, not Hakim Ajmal Khan. Which movement started after the partition of Bengal? Which movement started after the partition of Bengal? Which movement started after the partition of Bengal? Swadeshi movement. Which movement started after the partition of Bengal? Swadeshi movement. Not civil disobedience, not Quit India movement, not non-cooperation movement. The protest method of the moderate leaders of the Congress was constitutional agitation. The protest method of the moderate leaders of the Congress was constitutional agitation. The protest methods of the moderate leaders of the Congress was constitutional agitation, not non-cooperation, not passive resistance, not civil obedience. Who said that Congress movement was neither inspired by the people nor devised or planned by them? Who said that Congress movement was neither inspired by the people nor devised or planned by them? Lala Lajpat Rai. Who said that Congress movement was neither inspired by the people nor devised or planned by them? Lala Lajpat Rai. Who propounded the doctrine of passive resistance? Who propounded the doctrine of passive resistance? Aurobindo Ghosh. Who propounded the doctrine of passive resistance? Aurobindo Ghosh. Not Mahatma Gandhi, not Bipin Chandra Pal, not Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So Aurobindo Ghosh propounded the doctrine of passive resistance. Aurobindo Ghosh. The second session of the Indian National Congress was presided over by Dadabhai Naoroji. The second session of the Indian National Congress was presided over by Dadabhai Naoroji, not Ganesh Agarkar, not Surendranath Banerjee, not Firozshah Mehta. The second session of the Indian National Congress was presided over by Dadabhai Naoroji. Which one of the following leaders belonged to extremist wing of the Congress? Which one of the following leaders belonged to the extremist wing of the Congress? Which one of the following leaders belonged to the extremist wing of the Congress? Which one of the following leaders belonged to the extremist wing of the Congress? Aurobindo Ghosh. Aurobindo Ghosh. Which one of the following leaders belonged to the extremist wing of the Congress? Aurobindo Ghosh. Who gave the Inqilab Zindabad slogan? Who gave the Inqilab Zindabad slogan? Who gave the Inqilab Zindabad slogan? Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh. The founder of the Indian National Congress was civil servant. The founder of the Indian National Congress, the founder of the Indian Congress National was civil servant. The founder of the Indian Congress was civil servant. Most of the moderate leaders hailed from urban areas. Most of the moderate leaders hailed from urban areas. Most of the moderate leaders hailed from urban areas, not rural areas, not both rural and urban areas. Name of the Viceroy of Indian concerned with the Bengal partition. Name of the Viceroy of the Indian concerned with the Bengal partition. Lord Curzon. Lord Curzon. Lord Curzon. The Home Rule movement was symbol of the starting a new phase of freedom movement in India because it put a perfect project for the self-government before the nation. Home Rule movement was the symbol of starting a new phase of freedom movement in India because it put a perfect project for the self-government before the nation. Indian National Congress opposed the Rowlatt Act because it aimed to limit the individual liberty. Indian National Congress opposed the Rowlatt Act because it aimed to limit the individual liberty. Limit the individual liberty. Which one of the following classes was mainly unaffected by the Swadeshi movement of 1905? Which one of the following classes was mainly unaffected by the Swadeshi movement of 1905? Farmers, Muslim. Farmer Muslim classes was mainly unaffected by the Swadeshi movement of 1905. Who among the following did not contribute to Home Rule League? Who among the following did not contribute to Home Rule League? T.S. Alcott. T.S. Alcott. T.S. Alcott. T.S. Alcott was not contribute to Home Rule League. So contributed to Home Rule League Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Annie Besant and S. Subramaniam Iyer. Contribute to Home Rule League or not contribute to Home Rule League? T.S. Alcott. What was the cause of the outbreak of the Gadhar Revolution? Komagata Maru incident. Komagata Maru incident was the cause of outbreak of Gadhar Revolution. What was the cause of the outbreak of the Gadhar Revolution? Komagata Maru incident. What was the cause of the outbreak of the Gadhar Revolution? What was the cause of the outbreak of the Gadhar Revolution? Komagata Maru incident. Komagata Maru incident. What was the cause of the outbreak of the Gadhar Revolution? Komagata Maru incident, not arresting of the Lala Hardayal, not beginning of the First World War, not hanging of the Kartar Singh Sarwar, who called the Congress conference as the national festival of educated Indians, who called the Congress conference as the annual national festival of educated Indians, who called the Congress conference as the annual national festival of educated Indians. Lala Lajpat Rai, who called the Congress conference as the annual national festival educated Indians. Lala Lajpat Rai, not Bal Gangadhar, not Gopal Krishna Gokhale, not Vipin Chandra Pal. An important event of Lord Dufferin's tenure as Viceroy was an important event of Lord Dufferin's tenure as Viceroy was establishment of Indian National Congress. Establishment of Indian National Congress. An important event of Lord Dufferin's tenure as Viceroy was establishment of Indian National Congress, not establishment of Ramakrishna Mission, not establishment of the Muslim League in Dhaka, Now, beginning of the first census, who among the following was youngest person to become the president of the Indian National Congress? Who among the following was the youngest person to become the president of the Indian National Congress? Abdul Kalam Azad. Abdul Kalam Azad. Abdul Kalam Azad was the first youngest person to become the president of the Indian National Congress. Not Jawaharlal Nehru, not Ananda Mohan Bose, not Bhupendranath Bose, not Jawaharlal Nehru, not Ananda Bose, Mohan Bose, not Bhupendranath Bose. Consider the following statements and select the correct answer from the codes given below. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Subhash Chandra Bose formed the forward bloc. Subhash Chandra Bose formed the forward bloc. Subhash Chandra Bose formed the forward bloc. Bhagat Singh was one of the founders of Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. Consider the following statements and select the correct answer from the quotes given below. Subhash Chandra Bose formed the forward bloc. Bhagat Singh was one of the founders of the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, which implications was taken in Lucknow session of Congress in 1960. Which implication was taken in Lucknow session of Congress in 1960? Which implication was taken in Lucknow session of Congress in 1916? Separate electorate demand of Muslim League was accepted. So, which implication was taken in Lucknow session of Congress in 1960? Separate electorate demand of Muslim League was accepted. Which of the following revolutionaries was not hanged for Lahore conspiracy? Betukeshwar Dutt. Betukeshwar Dutt. Which of the following revolutionary was not hanged for Lahore conspiracy? Betukeshwar Dutt. Betukeshwar Dutt. Betukeshwar Dutt. Revolutionary was not hanged for Lahore conspiracy. Betukeshwar Dutt. And who was hanged? Sukhdev was hanged. Sardar Bhagat Singh hanged. Rajguru was hanged for Lahore conspiracy. Match list 1 and list 2 and choose the correct answer from the code given below list 1. List 1 Delhi conspiracy case first, second Howrah conspiracy case, third first Delhi conspiracy case, then Alipur conspiracy case, third Howrah conspiracy case and fourth Lahore conspiracy case. Master Ami Chand. Delhi conspiracy case Master Amir Chand, Master Amir Chand, Delhi conspiracy case, and have Alipur conspiracy case or Alipur conspiracy case or Alipur conspiracy case or Lahore conspiracy case, Jitendranath Mukherjee, Lahore conspiracy case, Jitendranath Banerjee, Lahore conspiracy case, Jitendranath Lahore conspiracy case. Oh my God, this is wrong. A. Howrah conspiracy case. Howrah conspiracy case. Jitendranath Mukherjee. Howrah conspiracy case. Jitendranath Mukherjee. B. Lahore conspiracy case. Rajguru. Lahore conspiracy case. Rajguru. C. Delhi conspiracy case. Master Amir Chand. And D. Alipur conspiracy case. Aurobindo Kaur. Which of the following statement are true? Both 1 and 2 are correct. After the Nagpur session 1920 of Congress, the provincial Congress committees were constituted on linguistic basis. After the Nagpur session 1920 of the Congress, the provincial Congress committee were constituted on linguistic basis. And in 1948, Congress rejected the demand of formation of provinces on linguistic basis. In 1948, Congress rejected the demand of formation of provinces on linguistic basis. Which among the following statements are true about V.D. Savarkar? He founded Abhinav Bharat, a revolutionary organization. He founded the Abhinav Bharat, a revolutionary organization. In order to inspire Indian nationalists, he wrote the biography of Majni. He also authored the Indian War of Independence 1857, which provides a nationalist view of the revolt of 1857. He jumped into the sea from the ceiling ship in the order to escape British capacity. He jumped into the sea from the ceiling ship in the order to escape the British conspiracy. He jumped. So, which amongst the following statements is true about the VD Savarkar? VD Savarkar founded the Abhinav Bharat, a revolutionary organization, in order to inspire Indian nationalists. He wrote the biography of Majini. He also authored the Indian War of Independence 1857, which provides a nationalist view of the revolt of 1857. He jumped into the sea from the sailing ship in the order to escape British capacity. Who among the following became president of Indian National Congress? Who among the following became the president of Indian National Congress? Any Besant. Who among the following became president of Indian National Congress? Any Besant. Who among the following became the president of Indian National Congress? Any Besant. Not Sucheta Kripalani, not Aruna Asaf Ali, not Vijay Lakshmi Pandit. In 1889, a committee was set up in Britain to gain support for the Congress. Who amongst the following was its president? Sir W. Waterburn. In 1889, a committee was set up in Britain to gain support for the Congress. Who amongst the following was its president? Sir W. Waterburn, not Mir Digbai, not Dadabhai Naoroji, not W.C. Banerjee. The following programs were launched by the nationalists against the partition of Bengal: boycott, Swadeshi, and national education, not non-cooperation. Following programs were launched by the nationalists against the partition of Bengal. Programs were launched by the nationalists against the partition of Bengal: boycott, Swadeshi, and national education. 1 to info. Match the list 1 and list 2 to select the correct answer using the code given below. List 1 and list 2. Jatin Das, hunger strike. Jatin Das, hunger strike. Hunger strike, Jatin Das. Jatin Das, hunger strike. Hunger strike, Jatin Das. Chandrasekhar Azad. Chandrasekhar Azad during encounter. During encounter, Chandrasekhar Azad. Chandrasekhar Azad during encounter. Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh hanged. Bhagat Singh hanged. Bhagat Singh hanged. और कल्पना दत्त during life imprisonment. कल्पना दत्त during life imprisonment. Who among the following was not associated with the Kakuri incident? Surya Sen. Surya Sen was not associated with the Kakuri incident. Kakuri Kakuri incident. Who was associated? Ram Prasad Bismil was associated. Rajendra Lahiri was associated. Asfaqullah was associated with the Kakuri incident. Muzaffar Ahmad, S.A. Dange, Shaukat Usmani, and Nalini Gupta were jailed for which conspiracy? Muzaffar Ahmad, S.A. Dange, Shaukat Usmani, and Nalini Gupta. Muzaffar Ahmad, S.A. Dange, Shaukat Usmani, and Nalini Gupta were jailed for which conspiracy? Kanpur Bolshevik conspiracy case. Kanpur Bolshevik conspiracy case. Kanpur Bolshevik conspiracy case. Kanpur Bolshevik conspiracy case. The first political organization established in India in the 1830s was known as the Zamindari Association. The first political organization established in India in 1838 was known as Zamindari Association. President of Indian National Congress at the time of independence was J.B. Kripalani. The first political organization established in India in 1838 was known as Zamindari Association. President of Indian National Congress at the time of the independence was J.B. Kripalani. Not British Indian Society, not Bengal British Indian Society, not Settlers Association. And President of Indian National Congress at the time of independence was J.B. Kripalani, not Mahatma Gandhi, not Jawaharlal Nehru, not Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru were sentenced to death in Kakuri conspiracy case. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru were sentenced to death in Kakuri conspiracy case, not Alipur conspiracy case, not Lahore conspiracy case, not Kanpur conspiracy case. Who was Bengal reunited due to the protest by Indians 1911? When was the Bengal reunited due to the protest by Indians? Bengal reunited due to the protest by Indians 1911. Vande Mataram became the theme song of the Indian national movements during the Champaran movement. Vande Mataram became the theme songs of the Indian national movement during the Champaran movement. Who among the following suggested the winding of the Indian National Congress after the Indian attained independence? C. Rajagopalachari. C. Rajagopalachari suggested the winding of the Indian National Congress after the Indian attained independence. Acharya, consider the following statements. Which statements above is are correct? So 2 and 3 are correct. The second session of the Indian National Congress was held under the presidentialship of Dadabhai Naoroji. The second session of the Indian National Congress was held under the presidentship of Dadabhai Naoroji, and both Indian Congress and Muslim League held their session at the Lucknow in 1960 in the Lucknow Pact. So these are right options, and the first session of the Indian National Congress was held in Calcutta. Wrong option. Arrange the following organization on the basis of their correct order. Arrange the following organization on the basis of their correct order: Indian Association, and after that Indian League, and after that Madras Mahajan Sabha, and last Bombay Association. Activities of the Barindra Ghosh had given birth of secret revolutionary organization named as Sadhva Samaj. Activities of Birindra Ghosh had given birth of secret revolutionary organization named as Sadhva Samaj. Which of the following are true in the context of Swadeshi movement in 1905? Macy demonstrations were held in Bengal. Hartal was observed in Calcutta, and the movement was initiated by moderates but was taken over by the revolutionary nationalists at the later stage. These are right options. Which among the following statements about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre is are correct? In Jallianwala Bagh, troops opened fire upon an unarmed crowd. Which among the following statements about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre is correct? The Jallianwala Bagh troops opened fire upon the unarmed crowd. Wrong options are: the troops were under the command of the general there. The troops did not issue any warning to the people before opening fire. Examine the true statements carefully and select the correct answer using the code given below. Dadabhai Naoroji argued that what was being drained out was potential surplus that could generate more economic development in India if invested in India. And wrong option: imperialists believed that India was brought into the large capitalist world market, and that was in itself a progress towards modernization. Which of the following statements about the Swadeshi movement in Bengal in 1905 are correct? It was marked by the mass mobilization through the organization of committees. Wrong option: it was marked by the mass mobilization through the labor strikes. It advocated constructive program of the self-help Atma Shakti. In the sphere of the education, national school were established. So this is right option. Which of the following statements about the founding of the Indian National Congress is are correct? So both 1 and 2 are correct. The INC was formed in Mumbai in 1885. The INC was formed in Mumbai in 1885. The first president of the INC was W.C. Banerjee. The first president of INC was W.C. Banerjee. Which of the following statements about the Champaran Satyagraha is are correct? So Mahatma Gandhi gave all Indian publicity to the grievances of Champaran cultivators, and the cultivators of Champaran had protested against excessive taxation on sugar. 2 and 3 right option. The Champaran region had a long tradition of anti-planter discontent and agitation. Wrong option. Which of the following was not the features of the Home Rule movement in India? The separate Home Rule League rather than one All India Home Rule organization. Boycott and picketing. This is right option. Setting up of discussion group and reading rooms, right option. Sale and circulation of pamphlets, right option. So what is the not feature of the Home Rule movement in India? Two separate Home Rule League rather than All India Home Rule organization. Which one of the following explain the meaning of the safety value theory in the context of Indian national movement? Safety value theory in the context of Indian national movement, a theory that argued that the Congress was formed was as a safe outlet to the discontent agitated Indians. A theory that argued that the Congress was formed as a safe outlet to the discontented agitated Indians. This is the this is the right option among the following explain the meaning of the safety value valve theory, safety valve theory. The theory that argued that the Congress was formed as a sale outlet to the hostile attitude of the British towards the Indian people, a theory which believed that the British and ex-rebels of 1857 should amicably resolve their differences against each other, and as idea aimed at promoting goodwill among the Indian people. The right option, a theory that argued that the Congress was formed as a safe outlet to the discounted agitated Indians. The headquarters of the Ghadar Movement's party were at San Francisco. The headquarters of the Ghadar Movement party were at San Francisco, not Stanford University, not Portland, not Florida. Which one of the following was not a demand made by the Congress moderates? Universal adult franchise. Which one of the following was not a demand made by the Congress moderates? Universal adult franchise. Not repeal of the Arms Act, not extensions of the permanent settlement, not higher jobs of the Indians in the army. The following items consist of the two statements. Statements one is statement to examine these two statements carefully and correct the correspondences using the code given below. The statement one non-cooperation began in the Punjab with the student movement inspired the Lala Lajpat Rai in January 1921. The Sikh dominated central Punjab countryside was stirred by the powerful Akali ups, uh, upsurge, and both the statements are individually true, but the statement 2 is the correct explanation of the statement 1. Which one of the following statement about the non-cooperation movement is correct? So it was marked by the significant participation of peasants from Karnataka. It was marked by the non-Brahmin lower caste participation in the Madras and Maharashtra. It was badly shaken by the Chauri Chaura incident in 1922, after which Gandhi ji decided to continue with the movement on much smaller scale. Which of the following statements about the non-cooperation movement is correct? It was marked by the significant participation of peasants from Karnataka. It was marked by the non-Brahmin lower caste participation in the Madras and Maharashtra, and it was badly shaken by the Chauri Chaura incident in 1920. So after which Gandhiji decided to continue with the movement on a much smaller scale. Which one of the following statements about the formations of the Indian National Congress is correct? The Indian National Congress was formed at the National Convention held in Calcutta in December 1885 under the presidency of the Motilal Nehru. An early decision was that the president would be from the same region where the session was to be held. Consider the following statements about the first session of the Indian National Congress. Which of the statements given above is correct? It was held in Mumbai in 1885. Surendranath Banerjee could not attend the session due to the simultaneous season of the Indian National Conference. So consider the following statement. Which statement given above is correct? B.G. Tilak founded the Home Rule League in April 1916 in Maharashtra. B.G. Tilak founded the Home Rule League in April 1916 in Maharashtra. Not N.C. Kelkar was not associated with the Home Rule movement. This is wrong option.